Hello everyone, welcome back to Movie Mad. So today I'm gonna show you quick recap on movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So without wasting any further time, let's get started.
Crank up those subwoofers, dude, and check this out.
So movie starts with Miles Morales getting ready for his school. He lives with his father Jefferson and his mother Rio. Miles goes around his neighborhood greeting his friends and tagging street signs with stickers he made. His father catches Miles and escorts him to school in his cruiser. As they ride to the school, they see a news report on Spider-Man, whom Jeff is not a fan of. Once they arrive, Jeff embarrasses Miles in front of all the other students to say "I love you." Miles gets into his schoolwork. He is having trouble to adjust in new environment. During one of his classes, he meets Gwen Stacy. After that, Miles sneaks out of his dorm to visit his uncle Aaron, who is Jefferson's brother and a sort of black sheep due to his criminal activities. Then Miles and Aaron go to the tunnels near the subway so that they can do some graffiti. As Miles spray paints the walls, a radioactive glitching spider crawls up his leg and bites his hand. The next day, Miles finds himself feeling differently. He hears a voice in his head, his clothes barely fit, and he is sweating profusely. He climbs out the window and finds himself walking on the walls before running into the streets, amazed by his newfound powers and abilities. Miles later goes to the tunnel where the spider bit him. As he examines it, it starts glitching again. Not long after, Miles hides as his spider sense detects danger. Spider-Man enters as he's being pursued by the Green Goblin. The fight takes them beneath Fisk Industries, where Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, is attempting to start up a super collider. This is where Spider-Man meets Miles and realizes Miles is just like him. A blast occurs in the tunnel. Spidey is badly injured, and Miles tries to help him, but Spidey tells him to hide before giving him a drive to shut down the collider. Kingpin defeats Spider-Man and kills him. Miles watches in horror. He runs back home. Miles is inspired by MJ's words to take up the mantle of Spider-Man. Later he pays a visit to Peter's grave, just as he is spotted by another man who is also a Spider-Man. Then Peter Parker tells Miles his story and how he got in this universe. Miles and Peter go to Alchemax Labs where the data on the collider is being kept. Miles and Peter manage to sneak into the lab and find the room with the computer. This is where Miles finds out he can turn invisible while he's scared. Dr. Olivia Octavius aka Doc Ock traps Peter Parker in her trap, but somehow Peter and Miles manages to free themselves. While running from supervillains, they meet third Spider-Person Gwen. She tells Miles and Peter her story and how she too has come from another dimension. The three of them then head out of the woods to get away. Miles, Peter, and Gwen to go Aunt May's home, where she is able to figure out that the Peter she sees before her is from another dimension. She takes them to her Peter's old secret hideout, which is full of different suits, gadgets, and vehicles, where they meet other Spider-Mans. All of them were pulled from their own dimensions and into Miles's world. Miles goes to Aaron's home for help, but Prowler comes there and removes his mask, revealing himself to be Aaron. Miles is horrified. He tries to get out of the apartment but is chased by Aaron throughout the city until he manages to evade him. Back at Aunt May's house, Miles reunites with the other Spider people to tell them that his uncle is working for Kingpin. Unfortunately, Miles has led Prowler there, along with other supervillains. The villains attack, and the Spider people spring into action. Prowler caught Miles and Aaron is mortified that he almost killed his nephew. As he backs down, Kingpin shoots Aaron in the back and then goes for Miles, but he swings out of there with his uncle. He takes Aaron to an alley where he dies. Miles goes back to Aunt May's and gets the original Spider-Man suit, which he spray paints with dark colors. He then tests his powers more confidently as he swings around the city. The other Spider people find Kingpin's gala where they are able to sneak in because the staff are wearing Spidey masks. Miles swings in and joins his friends as they fight back. To make things worse, the collider is activated, causing another earthquake across the city as dimensions start warping together. Other Spider-Mans fight supervillains while Miles tries to shut the collider down. Miles manages to send other Spider people home. Miles uses his power to blast Kingpin away and then send him webbed up toward the button to shut down the collider. Miles calls Jeff to let him know he's okay. He tells him that
I'm Batman.
Just kidding. Miles approaches him as Spider-Man and hugs him. Happy ending.